Pet Sematary 1. I watched Pet Sematary 2. And the thing of horror movies is the demon without versus the demon within. And it's all about what you're afraid of, but a lot of times we're afraid of some things, but we're not afraid of other things. And we need to keep the same energy of fear across the board. You understand? Or just not have it at all and just understand what we're afraid of and why we're afraid. Pet Sematary, the original, was a classic example of parenting. If you look at it on parenting, first thing we're going to do is take shame out of the game. You can't make a movie if you're thinking about shame. We're looking at the people, we're looking at what they're going through. Classic family, downsizing, going back to nature. But they live in a very, well, some people would call it natural place. Everything's there. They have spiritual places, they have normal places. They have places where you die and they bury you. They got places where they bury you, you die, you're gonna come back. Something's coming back whole. And yeah, that's pretty much the plot of Pet Sematary. And that's where they live. And the beautiful thing about Pet Sematary is that they have a ride or die neighbor. That neighbor got your back. That neighbor lived there their whole life and they got your back. They've lived, they've loved, and now they see you and your family and they got your back. They're trying to protect you, and I think the word for it that people use, well, I'm not going to look up the word they use for it. He'll help you help yourself, he'll help you hurt yourself. He'll help you lie to your kids. And I think Pet Sematary is about lying to our kids because we have our understandings of what we have, of how we understand things. And when it comes to the afterlife and life and death, in that area of Pet Sematary, it was on and popping. If you bury your people here where the land is sour, that was the language, the land is sour. And the guy was a doctor too. It was very beautiful. He was a very heroic being as far as like, if something crazy happens, he knows what to do. But at the same time, this is the original Pet Sematary. I'm not going to really think about the second movie yet. But at the same time, when he was trying to tell his child about the afterlife, he had to, play house. That's what I call it. Where him and his wife team up to try to speak about it in a way the child could understand, but not worry too much. But the child was inquisitive. The second Pet Sematary is really special. It's a horrible movie where it has to do with losing a child and doing whatever you can to get your child back. Excellent acting. It shows what natural emotions would make most people do without judgment. So it's really like a vivid dream to think about what you tell your kids about the afterlife. Whether they should make peace, whether they should think heavily of their cultural norms or what their culture told them about the afterlife because that's how you find your peace and that's all you ever done thought about it. But forcing a child, especially in a natural, unnatural, whatever you call it, place, is really, or supernatural. I'm not going to say unnatural. All nature's nature. There's super nature and stuff you don't know about that will act on you when you're in its presence. So, with that said, when you're in the presence of something greater, I'm not telling you to tell your kids, but the inquisitive mind shall travel. And yeah. Things happen, horrible things happen in life. It's not really something to understand. It's something to get through. It's something to, when you go through it and you see someone else going through it, you might know what to say better than anybody else, or you would know exactly how they feel because you've been there. Life has moments like that, and some people, they'll take that negative emotion that they had a long time ago and they'll turn it into the most beautiful flower of life, or they will take their actions and live a meaningful life based on what happened to them, no matter how dark or morbid it was, especially as long as they're living. As long as you're living, you got moves to make, you got things you could do, you got imagination in your mind to work at what you feel like doing, what's calling you. So yeah, that's all I'd say about Pet Sematary. I'm not going to say nothing about the movie. If you like horror, you understand that it shows horrible things, just like a horrible world. But all the shame, all the guilt, all the anger, we just get through it. And when you get through it, you think about it. You think about how you didn't go through any of that. Even though you might be a little frazzled, you'll say, well, in that situation, or with this in consideration, I think I see what the movie's trying to say. I see a couple of lessons in there. Let me see what I'm going to do with it, with my life, where I live, how I move, with my culture. All right, that's all I had to say. Peace.